Thank you so much, and thanks for coming out tonight. It was a little iffy when we were driving here, but that cleared up for us, luckily. That was our first tune was called Boogaloo Sub. It's off of our newest CD. The CD is entitled Queen Anne's Revenge, and we are the Sean J. Kennedy Quartet. I'm Sean, and we have John on piano, Ray on bass, and Erin on saxophone. We'll be hearing a lot more of them tonight. Boogaloo Sub, from our newest CD. On the CD, we have some special guests. And on that particular cut on this CD is Bob Mincer playing with us. And any Yellow Jackets fans, Buddy Rich fans out there, Queen, Steve Winwood, he's a sax player who's played with all of those artists. And we were thrilled to have him on our CD, and he actually plays on that CD, which we have for sale tonight after our performance. Next up is another tune off of our newest CD. I wish I wrote this one. It's one of my favorite songs. It's called Chim Chim Cheree from the movie Mary Poppins. Thank you very much. That was Chim Chim Cheree from the beloved Mary Poppins movie. We are the Sean J. Kennedy Quartet. We're featuring John Stenger on piano tonight, Ray Clemens on bass, and Erin Stroup on saxophone. Next up is another selection off of our new CD. The CD is called Queen Anne's Revenge, available from Lost World Records. This is an original that I wrote a little over a year ago, I guess. I have 3 kids. And my son, when he was 2 years old, was suffering from a bad asthma attack. And we had to rush him to the emergency room for some breathing treatments. The little guy was having a lot of trouble breathing, catching his breath. So we went to the emergency room. We'd been there for a few hours. They had him hooked up to the nebulizer and were giving him the treatments. And I had a gig that night in Center City. So I'm there with my wife and my son, and we're trying to relieve his breathing problem. And way in the back of my mind, I keep thinking, I have to be downtown at 7 o'clock to get ready for this gig that I have. It was breaking my heart that I had to leave my son and my wife at the emergency room. But the medical team there got it under control, and he was going to do some more breathing treatments for another hour. And the staff assured me, they said, you can go, he's fine, he's going to be all right. We'll probably release him in about 2 hours or so. So I was like, okay. So I went to hug him goodbye, and of course he was only 2. He was very nervous and hooked up to the big machines and all these different strangers walking in and out of this room. And when I went to hug him goodbye, he had one little tear on his cheek. And I hugged him, and he said, "Daddy, will you wipe my cry?" And I was like, oh, it just killed me that I had to leave. So that little phrase that he said, "wipe my cry," stuck with me for the next few weeks. And I knew I had to do something to immortalize that moment for at least myself. And that's where this next song comes from. It's called "Wipe My Cry." Thank you very much. That was called Wipe My Cry from our new disc called Queen Anne's Revenge. I can't do anything on this stage without my bandmates up here. Let's have a nice round of applause for that beautiful piano cadenza at the beginning of Wipe My Cry for John Stenger. Next up is another original off the new disc. It's called Candy Sticks at the Palm Court. When I was growing up, I had a wide variety of musical influences, one of them being the big bands of the 1940s, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, Duke Ellington, Artie Shaw, and this is kind of a throwback to that era. Last summer I was on vacation with my family and my nieces and nephews and everyone, and we were out in Lancaster at a place called Willow Valley. It's a resort, they have an indoor pool and stuff. The kids loved it. When we were leaving, we had to check out, and there's a restaurant near there called the Palm Court. And my wife stopped in the gift shop to pick up some gifts for people, and she picked up those old-fashioned candy sticks. And they had been hanging out of her pocketbook or something, and the kids saw them, and they saw them when we were in this restaurant called the Palm Court, and of course they were obsessed with the candy, so we had to give it to them. It's kind of a recollection of my childhood, and I thought of my kids at the Palm Court wanting those candy sticks, so this is called Candy Sticks at the Palm Court. Thanks so much. That was called Candy Sticks at the Palm Court. I used to read a lot of biographies and autobiographies of big band leaders, and I always read about, especially with Glenn Miller, the Glen Island Casino, and I'm just trying to imagine what that would have been like, and that's kind of my interpretation. If Glenn asked me to write a tune, I'd write something like that. So that was our tribute to the big band era. Next up is the antithesis of the big band era. There was a show on in reruns when I was growing up called The Munsters. About this bizarre family, like Frankenstein was the father and Dracula was the father-in-law or something. And there was this really catchy surf rock melody that was the theme song for the show. And it's always stuck with me, that surf guitar riff. And this is our version, our kind of Latin rock funk version of The Munsters. Thank you very much. That was our interpretation of The Munsters. It's also featured on our new CD. CD is called Queen Anne's Revenge. We have a bunch of guest artists on that CD. It's the four of us, of course, of the core group. Bob Mincer plays a few cuts with us, legendary sax player. Played with the Buddy Rich Big Band. He's currently on tour with the Yellow Jackets. He has his own fabulous big band out of New York. So he plays on 3 cuts. Billy Joel's drummer, Liberty DeVito, also makes an appearance on the CD, playing the title track, Queen Anne's Revenge. It's a drum set duet with him and I in the band. Very aggressive. If you're into Billy Joel and rock and roll, you'll like that cut. And a jazz guitarist named Frank DeBuzzolo that worked a lot with Rosemary Clooney, Frank Sinatra, and those sorts of people. So the CD is called Queen Anne's Revenge, and we do have them. We also have a website with a bunch of our other shows coming up. Next week we're at the Promenade in Marlton, New Jersey. In August we're up in Doylestown doing some stuff. So if you'd like to get on the mailing list for the website, please come up after we're done. I have a sign-up sheet for that. Next up is another track off of the CD. This is called Twins of Spirit, written by our good friend Tim Price, a saxophone player out of Reading, Pennsylvania. So this is his tribute to John Coltrane. Thank you very much. That was called Twins of Spirit from our newest CD. Okay, that was from our newest CD. Tonight we're really fortunate to have with us a film crew, Lunchbox Productions at Comcast.net. All right, so if you're interested in a DVD of tonight's performance, please email those guys. I'll also put it on my website. It's lunchboxproductions.net. Okay, next up is a tune off of our first CD. It's called Aiden's Midnight Ride. On our first CD, we were very fortunate to have a guest on that. Local favorite Larry McKenna. He worked with Woody Herman, Sinatra, and all those sorts of musicians. So this is called Aiden's Midnight Ride. Thank you so much. That was Aiden's Midnight Ride from our first CD, which we also have with us tonight. So when we're done, feel free to come up if you want to sign up for the website, the mailing list, the email list, or check out either of the CDs that we have. Tomorrow night, we have another gig right in the area in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. Our good friends over at WRDV FM are going to host us. We're going to do a live radio broadcast from their studios, and it's open to the public. So if anyone would like to check that out, you can go to wrdv.org and get directions to their radio station. It's right in the heart of Hatboro. They have a studio there, and they'd love to see you. We're going to be playing some of these tunes, some different tunes, interview, that sort of stuff. So it's WRDV tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Our last selection for tonight is off of our new disc. It's by our sax player, Erin Stroup. He wrote it for his little girl, Logan Stroup, and the nickname he calls her is Sweetie Pie. He always calls her Sweetie Pie. So he wrote this real happy second line New Orleans tune, which is on our new disc right near the end of the CD. And once again, before I give up the mic and I play again, I just want to thank the guys in my band, John Stenger on piano, Ray Clemens on bass, Erin Stroup on saxophone, I'm on drums, and I'd also like to thank the Upper Gwynedd Park and Rec Department for having us play tonight. It was a pleasure, and we hope to come back again. So this is Sweetie Pie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much for coming out and hanging out and listening to us for the Sean J. Kennedy Quartet. If you want to come up and sign up for the mailing list or check out CDs, you're more than welcome. Thanks again and have a safe ride home.